So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are back on the streets. We got a smoke of our neighbor. That was a surprise. She's usually broke. She doesn't have any, but I got one off her. It was good. It satisfied a bit. What else? It's been a very interesting year. We woke up and realized that the world we lived in was not involved in. I was not surrounded by mothers, brothers, fathers, neighbors, friends, nobody. I was surrounded by a bunch of workers working on a government project. It's not a government project, it's an international Illuminati project. Freemasons that test certain subjects, and if they have nobody to look out for them, parents, whatever, they're orphans. They picked me up from an orphanage when I was like a week old, I think. They experiment on them, because if you're going to experiment anything, whether it's brainwash, mind control, whatever, who's going to allow you to experiment on them? Nobody, unless they're stupid. What kind of a mother, what kind of a father is going to allow you to experiment on their son? None. Anyways, all I remember is I was growing up in this family thinking my father was that guy, my mother was that woman, my brother was this little guy. And I woke up one day and realized they're all fake. Slowly but gradually, not right away. Took me a while. The first I figured out, obviously, was my brother, because he was the only person I've had contact with throughout my life. All my so-called friends from high school played their part at the beginning and just disappeared. Once they're off, they can't keep working on this show. They're tired. They want to have their own lives. A lot of these people became millionaires. They entered my world and exited and became millionaires. Just as you see in the Truman Show, they became superstars because it's a show that people watch. This one, it's a underground, covert operation done by the Illuminati, away from the top. You could say Rothschild. Those are the people we know of. Those are the people in the front taking the heat for all the other families, but I doubt that they're the main ones. Anyways, these guys up there, they experiment. They wanted to experiment on brainwash and mind control. So I was picked up by this agency. As you see in the movie The Truman Show, they tell you a company purchased this kid. The agency picked me up, gave me to a family, two Freemasons high up in their ranks, my so-called mother and father that worked for them in Lebanon. Well, my mother was a stewardess since the age of 15, 16, and my so-called father was a bank manager. It's just, I mean, who are the Illuminati? Money people and hookers, excuse my language. Anyways, I hate to say that didn't sound right, doesn't feel right, but fuck, sometimes the truth hurts. Anyways, it's been a what really made me wake up to everything was it was hard. It took a while. It didn't kick in right away. Maybe because of all the tension they put me under, the noise, the stalking and everything, obviously. I mean, to get the whole scoop, everything about the way the bubble's architected, how it functions, everyone in my family was fake, everybody. That's how I got to the point to realize that my whole world was fake. I've never had contact with a real human being since the day I was born. It's fucked up. And it grew to something like this, which I'm always, when I'm walking anywhere, I have a bunch of cars around me everywhere I go. It started like this on a small scale, and it grew bigger as I got older. Every country I've been to, they found out somehow, some way, because they control my world through internet, through me looking at things outside in stores, through telling my brother. They found out where I was going, and they fixed it up before I got there. And I've been to like friggin' 40 countries. I speak 4 languages. And every single person I bumped into was a fake fucking agent, just like anyone here did the same things that these guys are doing to me. Same fucking thing. Not to this degree of meaningness. But some of them were nice. Sometimes they had to keep it realistic, right? But when I woke up, this hardcore meaningness started to put me back into the grave. Anyways, so look. It's like 9, 10 o'clock right now on Tuesday night, guys. Tuesday. So these so-called laminated people came up with this project. And it's funny, when you're living that kind of life, even though psychologically you're not intact with whatever's happening around you because you're hurting, and especially the noise. They've had me always surrounded with so much noise. You can't concentrate, you can't think. You stay in a state of trance. Your mind is completely defocused all the time. You're just drained. All you want to do is stay inside, isolated. That's part of the main reason why I got on opiates. Because opiates relieve that, and they give you this, they replace the oxytocin they stole away from me all my life, which you get from social contact with people, with OxyContin, the fake painkiller, to give you that happy feeling inside, that joy, that warmth. Basically, oxytocin and OxyContin are one and the same. One is natural through social connections, and one is a chemical that can try to fill that tank for you synthetically, so you can feel warmth. Because everyone who does opiates, they tell you it's wicked, it makes you feel warmth. So basically, the warmth that was taken away, because how can you feel warmth from all these cold people around you and acting this way around you? They give you a lot of cold. So you need warmth, because you're not having real, natural, nurturing, social interactions with real people that are there to buy a pizza. They're not there waiting for you to come in so they can flash you their butt or tease you or make fun of you or cough when you get there or talk or pace, whatever. All the characteristics that they do in this fucking prison. So this is pretty much what I've missed in my life. I've had everything else 10 times more than anybody could wish for. Materials, whatever. But I've missed the most important thing. What the fuck is life without a real social interaction? I lived with a bunch of robots, zombies around me my whole life. It's a fucking miracle. How am I still alive? I don't believe it myself. How I'm still alive. How I survived this mad world created for me by a bunch of madmen on top with a printing machine. Now, you can't blame the people on the bottom of the ranks, because tons of money, guys. The lowest of the lowest person that works on anything to do with my life gets at least a couple grand a month, 4, 5, 6. So you can imagine the people that are doing the planning, the logistics inside. For the last 29 years that I've lived in this country, those guys have built up lives on my back. Lives. Millionaires, houses, vacations, kids, wives, you name it. So for these guys, it's been great. It's been fucking nice ride. But you gotta look also at the kind of people that I've been surrounded with for the last 29 years. These are not normal people. When you watch The Truman Show and you watch all these people working in that studio up there with Christoph, you see a nice guy, a bad guy, a good one, a bad one, whatever. They're a bit of mixed nuts. This world does not have mixed nuts in it, guys. It only has one fucking nut. It's that really dark one that you see in society left out in the corner. You know those people with really dim, bad energy? When you're around them, you just feel cold. You don't feel good. No matter what they do, even if they smile to you, you feel that coldness. So what these guys did is they collected all these small dots spread out in every society and put them together through Masonic lodges, and that's what Freemasonry is. It's collecting the weakest elements in society, empowering them a lot more than everybody else so they can rule over them with dirt. Because not everyone is willing to sell his soul for, a Lamborghini. Anyways, and not even a Lamborghini. Most of them didn't even get a frigging Datsun. Anyways, so guys, this fake world that was created for me that I woke up from 11 months ago, and I've been struggling for the last 11 months because Christoph can't help it but keep saying, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Stalking, noise, annoying, provoking, you name it. It's more like Dark City. If you look at the movie with Kiefer Sutherland from 1998, it's called Dark City, where people go to sleep at night. These cyborgs come down, brainwash them, and it's the same idea. And he's always looking for Shell Beach. He wants to escape the misery. He wants to go to Shell Beach. That's where life is. And if you notice in these movies, there's always a very far connection between the sexes, the male and the female. There's a far connection between them. There's always this distance. Because the elite's goal, it's called the inversion of the sexes, What they do, what Satanism does to a society, is separate the two. See, men and women have a lot of things in common, but they have a lot of things that are different. It's kind of like, let's keep it as basic as a screw and a bolt, okay? We're not talking sexually here. We're just saying a screw and a bolt. Now, Satanism takes the screw, tries to turn it into a bolt, and takes the bolt and tries to turn it into a screw. It's very simple. That's why you see a lot of dildos around. This is why you see a lot of men turning gay, and in betweens, and on the right and on the left, and all the same, and in the end they're gonna all become one. That's what Satanism is. So this mechanism that they've had, these empires, whenever they built empires, the British Empire, the frigging pharaohs, the Roman Empire, sex is always a huge thing. Why? I'll tell you why. Not because it's lust or it's nothing to do with that. It's because it's weakening for both sexes. You're taking an element that's a bolt, you're turning it into a screw, and you're turning an element that's a screw and you're turning it into a bolt. You're turning everything upside down. In the end, men may be angry and say, oh fuck, these women are gonna fucking rule us now. Or the other way around. But in the end, they'll both struggle, you know what I mean? Can I get a smoke off your butt?
I just had the smoke from that guy.
Everyone's doing that tonight. So, when they flip those things around, let's see, we got that guy. Let's go back that guy. There's one more over there. When you flip those two around, that's what you get. You get weakness on both. And you get a division between them because these guys are not taking the proper seat and these guys are not taking the proper seat. Right? Oh, we got some nice waitresses here. Sorry guys, do you mind if I buy smoke of any one of you or bum one?
I got it from the...
That's okay, thank you. So, anyways, the inversion itself, what does it do? The design is to weaken both elements, to make both elements make life for both become not as exciting. You lose the spice, the chemistry. That element will go away. Not fully, and you still have some really strong men and some really feminine women that could still click along the way, even though everything's inverted. There's still some relationships that will work out, not as good as they should, but they still do, but they're minimal. This is why you see a lot of relationships right now that don't stay together for long. You go back 67 years ago, most people stayed together for 40, 50 till they died or whatever, you know. Now you get less and less and less of it. Not because it's people are free to do whatever they want, because it's done by design, guys. There are a lot of hidden elements that are applying this. A lot of hidden elements that are strategically applying this behind the scenes. It's a science. It's not that it just happened by chance or, you know, because of the way they did this or because of the way they did that or people are making mistakes. No, guys. There's no mistake here. Everything's happening exactly the way it was planned. It's all by design, you know, because when you do this to both sexes, you're screwing with nature. You know, it's you're flipping things upside down. It's not a lot of men have a complex of women. A lot of women have a complex of men. They say, oh, these are bad, or these are like this, these are... They're both miserable, guys. Both. Even the ones on top. Because women that are meant to be on top usually want a guy that belongs on top. That's what makes them feel good in the end, to get that special one. They're not getting those special ones. Because those special ones are being fucking depressed all the way down from society before they even put their heads up. And the ones who are making it on top are the ones who are stepping on the ones who have no talent. I mean, you look at most leaders nowadays. Look at most of the people on top. They don't even look like they belong on top. Never mind what they do. Just look at the way they look like physically. It's just that chair that they sit on doesn't even fucking suit them. You know what I mean? Most of them don't look the part. They don't look like leaders. They don't look... But that's why it's upside down for a reason. because that will dismantle the one who can make a difference. You know what I mean? Now, since I talked about the inversion of the sexes, let's go to the book of Enoch. It's mentioned a lot, you know, where the daughters of man were stolen by the gods or whatever. Let me tell you what's behind this story. There's nothing fantasy about the story. This story was made up by the old empires. This basically means is, because they divide the two, because they flip everything upside down, the women lose interest in the men that are around them, because they both get dismantled in their own special ways. And they'll start to have interest in the one on top. And the one on top will have all of them. You'll become like the next sultan kind of thing. But not in a proper way, in a satanic way. How? With the use of money. When you base everything on money, men become pimps and women become whores. That's not all of them. That's not, you know, talking about every single one. But that's just the premise. That's the idea. That's what it leads to. Because when you start thinking of strictly of money, this is what it does to us as human beings. Because if money becomes really important to a man, that's supposed to annoy me. Because if money is really important to a man, and this another one's supposed to annoy me. So those guys got paid, I don't know how much to make noise in my fucking ears. Anyways, doesn't matter. Nothing affects me. This is a fucking walk in the park. I'm coming out, even if they pass by here, freaking Hulk on his Hulk motorcycle. Anyways, the more money has value to you as a man, you will lose interest in women and more in money, which is the easiest way to become a pimp. And the more women have interest in money and there are no strong men around them, it will get to a point where she'll be like, well, fuck. I mean, I'm free. I'm alone. I get everything I want. You know, I want to go out with this guy. He'll buy me dinner or whatever. I hope most of you guys don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But it does lead to that mentality. The more it becomes important. So that's what the book of Enoch is about. That's how they can steal them. They're not really stealing them. They're just taking them away from you. So they can have whatever the best ones they want on top, and all the others suffer along the way. Men and women, both. Because they're flipping it. No, he wants to give me round two. Because they're flipping it. They're flipping it upside down, guys. You know? The bolt likes to be a bolt. Doesn't want to be a screw. And the screw doesn't like to be a bolt. He wants to be a screw. So they're both unhappy when they're flipped upside down. Nobody benefits here. The only people that do are the ones on top, and not really, because they're dogs to begin with. When the whole system from the top is a skirt-wearing system, then it will go all the way to the bottom. And everyone who's got pants on will be imprisoned, will be abused, will be crucified. They will do whatever it takes for those pants not to show up in public, and for women to look at a pair of pants, or for men to look up to one with a pair of pants. They're deleting that element from society, so they don't even see what it's like. So what happened with me over the last year, this huge attack on me, involved a lot more people in Toronto. Tons more than my whole life. Let's say throughout my 29 years, my 28 years, they've had about 500,000 people involved on this show. I call it a show, still it's not. It's a covert torture operation for imprisonment and torture. Anyways, in the last year they've had 1 million. Double. They had to, because it was coming out more. I want to get out there. I see the truth now. I want to get out of this bubble and get into the new world and live a life. So they had to do the impossible to cap me. This is why if you look at my old videos, a lot of my subscribers have seen my old videos that are 9 months ago, 10 months ago. It was just mad. It was mad. I can't even walk. I go to the grocery store, about 20, 30 workers in there come out with the carts and the skids and drop them in front of me and pile stuff over the shelves, and people bump into me. It's just a madhouse. Anyways, they're trying to cap it. Didn't work. It worked in terms of delaying me. 11 months went by. Now I know everything that I could have picked up within 2-3 months. So they did delay me somewhat, somehow, 6, 7, 8 months. But it was a huge war waged on me. I'm surprised I'm still alive. So, what worked is that now I took one walk all the way there earlier. Went home, relaxed a bit for an hour and a half, went back. Guys, I saw the same people. If you look at my video, the one before this one, you will realize that even the people that were smoking outside that said didn't have any smokes were the same ones that said the same thing 2.5 hours ago. This is the reason why I did it tonight, not just for cigarettes. Because what they're doing is they're keeping people in the same place. They're not using that many. First, they're running out. Second, they're not getting the job done. All this busyness. It's a waste of fucking time to them and money. It's not getting the job done. So they're using a lot of the same people. Back in the days, these guys would have been gone. Another 100 would have came and replaced them. The same guys have been hanging out in the same spot in the parking lot for like 4 hours now. It's ridiculous. Standing in the same spot, talking about the same fucking conversation, moving the same way, pointing and grabbing their hat just before I get to them. It's like a deja vu 4 hours later. Come on, guys, change the script at least. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's none of my business. I don't care about that. I ain't even looking at them. What matters is the fact that I'll be out of this prison very soon. If I had the right elements tonight, I would have taken off tonight. Unfortunately, I have to wait a little bit more. I know I told you in a couple of videos past that this is the day I'm gonna do it. It wasn't, and even when I said that, I knew that it wasn't. I just wanted to say it to see the reaction from my opponent. And it was exactly what I expected, which was good for me. So we're testing here. You gotta remember, they listen to me live. They have my phone tapped. There we go, again and again, again. What the fuck does that do to someone, that noise? Nothing, guys. This noise only works is when you're surrounded by it 24/7. Then it gets to you. It has to, you know, what noise does is it raises up your tensity level. You feel tense all the time. But you have to stay there at that level. As soon as you calm down half an hour, it's useless. This is the only way you can hurt someone with noise, is to keep it going. That's how they nailed me throughout my life. It was constant, ongoing, wherever I went. And steady. That's the word I was looking for, steady. If noise is not steady, it doesn't work. Even with the pacing and harass, it doesn't work. It's got to be steady. So this world was designed like this for me. And see, same group came out. Those guys parked the bikes. Those ones over there. So these are a bunch of young guys that come on a fake fucking show with their stupid motorcycles. I guarantee you, if I race any of them, I'll kick their asses. Because they have no balls. Because if they were real men and had balls, they wouldn't come to this show. They wouldn't do this to someone. You know, real men with balls don't do this. So things are upside down. Guys that look like women ride motorcycles, and guys that are really tough are being enslaved. It's upside down, guys. It's not normal. You don't even have to tell you this. You look at the way they look, these guys. It's a mirror. Just look at the way they look. I don't know what to tell you. They're fucking lost, man. They don't know anything. They just know how to act like the song said, or that movie showed the kind of clothes, and you know, it's pathetic. There's no character. There's no personality. There's no vision. There's nothing. None of the things that make a man a man. Sitting in there like a bunch of idiots on their phones with the group and Facebook, and not that there's anything wrong with Facebook. Don't misunderstand me. It's just that they're so misguided, misdirected, and lost. You know, it's funny. I was in a world where I was brainwashed. They weren't. But yet I learned more and they learned. I was less brainwashed than they are. That's the irony here. No, he wants to make me more noise now. Look, I thought they just parked. They want to make more noise? Oh, listen now, listen. Oh, they got a pace in front of me so I can see him. Again, because there's nobody to bother me. I forgot about those moves. So guys, you know, That the Book of Enoch, that's what it's about. It's about these guys on top, which they like to call themselves the gods. They want to steal your women away from you. And they're not just stealing the women away, but they're stealing the men from the women too, the real men. So we're not looking at it here as a sexual thing, as a survival societal thing. They're breaking up society. The people who really belong together magnetically are not connecting because they're both being spread out. One is being pushed to this corner, one's being pushed to that corner. The ones that can connect chemically and naturally and magnetically, they're deleting that element from life, which is a flow, which is a nice, where it's that energy that two people can connect on a natural plane where things are just flowing from both sides. It creates this spark, this electricity. They're deleting that by putting a lot of ice in between. We live in a world where nowadays that it's becoming colder and colder and colder as we move forward with the use of technology. Not that technology is all bad, but because of the way it's being used and for what it's being used for. They're making the cold a lot colder, the world a lot colder. And that's what's happening out there. This is why you don't see a lot of spice. Even when, you look at a couple in the 50s and you look at a couple today, there's just that energy is not there anymore. Now it's kind of like, yeah, okay, let's go eat something and we'll go back home, whatever, It's taking the juice. It's taking the juice out of the chicken, man. They're having dry, crusty chicken. It's just, it's not the one where it's shiny and it's juicy and you're grabbing the leg and it's got this flavor in it. And, you're looking at it with open eyes. Hold on, I got a private number phone call. Let me see who it is. 1 second, guys.